So it can go both ways. Move in silence amongst people that are haters. Move in silence amongst people that don't want to see you win. Move in silence amongst people who are not pursuing their greater selves. But go and speak with conviction in them rooms of people that are winning.
Welcome to the Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast, starring Q the Boss.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another episode of Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. They call me Q the Boss. And we are back. And today we're talking about a very special topic. I'm always excited when it comes to doing this with you guys. You guys make me love doing this. I have so much fun every week that we come back into this studio just to have these conversations. Today we're talking about moving in silence. Do you think it's good to move in silence, or is it better to be loud about what you're doing? This is the question we're talking about today, guys. Listen, we have a call-in number, guys. For those who want to call in, you can start calling in now. We're taking callers. The phone number is 516-253-1150. Let me say that one more time. 516-253-1150. You can call in now today. We want to hear this topic. Is moving in silence a good thing, or is it a bad thing? Right? Here's the conversation. We're talking about this today. What I like is when you're dealing with people, right? I've noticed that sometimes matter of fact, we got a caller already, guys. I'm loving it. We just got on and we got a caller. Let's see what we're talking about today. Caller, what's going on, caller? Caller, what's going on? Yeah, what's going on? Can you hear me? Hello? Yeah, can you hear me? All right. Listen, so today we're talking about, is moving in silence a good thing, or is it a bad thing? Right? We want to talk about that. You know, I've noticed in a lot of cases, people have normalized moving in silence because they're so worried about the people who should be happy for them. See, I'm gonna tell you something. When you measure success, right? And when in the issue with successful people is one or two things come out of it, right? Either A, a person get inspired by your success, or B, a person gets jealous. In a lot of cases, I've noticed that tons of people, when they see you becoming successful, they get very insecure. And it's bad that you're insecure about someone else winning. You're supposed to be inspired, especially when you know someone came from the rock bottoms or they started from absolutely nothing. But here's the dilemma. We sit back and we say, this person is special. This person ain't had to go through what I've gone through. This person is the exemption from the laws. The laws are the laws. But the reality of all things is if you're willing to do what the average aren't willing to do, then you'll get the outcome of what the unaverage are getting. Simple logic. When you sit back every day and you do what most people aren't willing to do, you get the results. See, when you look at certain things in life, you see why certain people are at certain levels. And this is the truth. But it's sad that you're not allowed to show how good you're doing because too many people will either A, get jealous, or B, not want to support you. So here's my question, guys. Should you move in silence when you're winning, or should you B, allow people to see that you're doing good? What we got, Dre? What are you thinking? What are you thinking, guys? Do you think it's better to move in silence, Tyler? Or do you think it's better to be loud? Why is that? Is he talking to Mike?
I always feel like it's better to move in silence because not everybody needs to know your next move. Because usually the ones who are not telling their next move, you have a greater chance of being more successful. You know, you're not supposed to tell everybody what you're doing every single step of the way. It's kind of like blocking your blessings in a sense, you know?
I agree. Now let me ask somebody else in the studio. Kenneth, come on down. Let's ask you. Do you think it's better to A, move in silence, or B, do you think it's better to let people see that you're making moves? What do you think?
It's better to move in silence.
Elaborate on why.
moving in silence. If you move in silence, like Tyler said, nobody needs to know what you're doing. And then once the cat's out of the bag, everyone's going, "Oh my god, you've been doing this for this long!" Like, "Oh my god."
I agree 100%. You got a point. Now let's ask Christopher. Come on down, Chris. Right? Chris, you can say your opinion. What do you think? Is it A, better to move in silence, or B, right? Move in silence, or B, is it better to let people know what you got going on? Right? What do you think?
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah,
I think it's better to move in silence because if you're the loudest in the room, there's a strong possibility of what you're trying to get done will not get done because you keep talking about it a lot. And also, it's best when it already happens and then you speak on it because it'll show that, your actions speak louder than your words.
I agree. Now we're gonna ask you, Dre. What do you think? Is it better to move in silence, or is it better for people to know what you got going on?
I think it's better for you to move in silence.
Dre, you got a studio voice, man. Say, damn, caught me off guard.
Nah, it's better to move in silence. It's best not everyone to know your business because everybody that knows your business, usually they throw it back in your face sometimes, and that's not a real good thing. So it's better to move in silence so that way you can move and do what you need to do without anybody really saying anything or trying to stop you from achieving the things that you need to achieve.
I agree 100%. Last one. Kenzie, what do you think? Is it better to move in silence, or B, let people see what you got going on?
I actually have a different take on this. I believe that you should give out false information to mislead people because you don't know who in your circle you can trust necessarily all the time. So if you put out a false claim and have people think that's what it is, even though it's not right, okay, so that person gave out this false information. I know I can't trust them, but
I
you're still
agree.
moving in silence.
I agree. I agree 100%. Caller, what's going on, caller?
Hello. I hope I'm not having any feedback because I'm watching from my iPad, so I hope everything is all well.
Yes, you are. What you got? Do you think it's better to move in silence? Turn the iPad down a little bit.
I think both. A little. Okay, hold on one second. Okay. I think a little bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what type of business you have. I believe in, to a certain extent.
Okay.
Because walking in silence, I'm a funeral home owner.
Nice.
And it was cool when I was working for another funeral home. But when I opened up my own funeral home, there was a lot of, you know how we do. So I think a little bit of both is cool.
So let me ask you a question. Like, what do you see you get more now? Do you get more support, or do you get more people jealous because of the fact that you're doing better?
Right. It's more jealousy, and yeah, it's definitely more jealousy. Definitely more jealousy.
So elaborate as a business owner, right? What is the hardship of being in business?
A black female.
Being a black female is hard.
Yeah.
So do you find it harder to get support from your own?
Because the funeral home industry is more male dominant.
Okay.
So when a black female comes along, we have to work harder but smarter.
Yes.
So I think a little bit of both. And thank you so much.
I appreciate you so much. Listen, she got valid points. In business, it's not easy. Sometimes to get your owner support is not always a good thing, right? It's not even easy sometimes, especially when there's people that believe that they should be in your position. That's a major dilemma you'll see with a lot of people, right? So what are we talking about? We're talking about, is it better to move in silence, or is it better to be loud about what you got going on, right? So sometimes in life you move in silence because a lot of people, they tend to be jealous, right? We got another caller calling in right now. I'm loving it. Let's keep the callers calling in, guys. I want to engage with y'all a little bit more. What's going on, caller? Caller, what's going on?
Hey, honey. This is my second time calling again. How are you?
I love it. How are you? How you doing?
Oh, I'm good. I was hearing an echo. That's why.
Okay.
But to your question, I think it differs between moving in silence or telling everybody what you got going on. You have to build your support system.
Mhm.
So for some people, you have to make sure you let them know what's going on, and you never know if they can pitch in and help out. But we sometimes pick the wrong people and put them in the wrong position. That's where we would say, oh, yeah, let's move in silence. But if you got your group, you tell them what's going on. They might pitch in. They might help you buy things, help you paint, come in and get in the dirt with you because that's your box.
I love
Me
that. You.
personally, I don't do circles.
Mhm.
I've said it before. I only do squares. I like to make sure when I turn around people in my corner, you're not going to circulate around me. So for those individuals, yes, I'm going to tell you what I got going on because if the shoe is on the other foot, I'm going to get dirty with you to make sure your dreams is in reality. Now for everybody else, I'm not going to speak on my dreams yet until it comes to reality because you might be praying for me, but I don't know who you're praying to. So
I
you
love
say
it.
you're praying for me and you're really praying against me. So I'm going to keep this to myself and I'm going to make you eat what you say.
I love it.
Me
You
personally.
100% right. So here's my question: when it comes to your ideas and your dreams, are you have a box that you usually go to and sit down and talk to?
I do.
Nice, nice. That's what's
And
up.
I'm not against adding other people into that box, but you're not going to come in my life and just automatically get put in that box. The same way I have to earn your trust, I have to earn your time.
I
You have
agree.
to do the same for me because every time that I allow people into my space right away, I end up reaping the consequences of it. So now I'm going to be pick and choosy about who I allow into that space because I've done too much work on myself thus far to just give you a position in my life. No, you're going to work for it.
I love that. Let me ask you a question. Who do you believe, and I'm just only asking this out of the box, who do you believe should lead, a man or a woman? Caller.
Well, of course, on my end, I have to say a man because I have a husband. Now, my husband is going to lead because he is the head, but he also understands I am the neck. The head don't move without a neck.
Agreed. Agreed.
So as long as we understand that as women, it's okay for you to allow males to move. But while you're allowing them to move, ain't no reason of you sitting back and kicking your feet up while they're leading. No, you should be sitting back taking notes while they're leading. So if the ball drops one day or something happens to them one day, you're able to pick up the ball like it never fell before.
You want to hear something funny?
So you know how they always say, know your place and fall back?
Yeah.
No, respect your place, learn their place, and be ready to take over if you need to or if they need you to.
I will say this though. You sound like you're a wife, right? You just said your husband, but you sound like a wife. Some people are married, they're not wives. Some men are husbands are not husbands, right? Just because they're married. You sound like you're really a wife.
Thank you.
No, I
Listen,
respect
my
it.
husband is my best friend, and I tell people that all the time. You try too hard to build relationships without friendship. There's no way you're going to keep a relationship if you don't have a friendship. And it took my husband to get that into my head to understand everybody does not have a position in my life, and I need to be pick and choosy of who is a part of that box and who's a part of my life.
I agree
Because
100%.
I don't know everybody. They might have another, what do you call it? Intention behind them befriending me.
I agree
So
100%.
I had to learn that the hard way. And now that I learn it, I allow him to pick and choose and also lead when he needs to, but then I know how to as well.
I agree.
So allow yourself, ladies, to be taught. Allow yourself to be led appropriately. Allow yourself, if you say you want love, be open to that love, but that love is going to cause you to sit back sometimes. You want him to protect, provide, and do all of these other things, but you need to learn how to be a sanctuary as well. It's my opinion.
I love that. You know, you just hit the nail on the head, and I appreciate your calling. Wow, that was a strong message. So for those who's listening, I hope you guys are listening. To me, she sounds every bit of like a wife, right? Just because some people are married don't mean they're husbands. It's just because some people are married don't mean they're wives. And she sounds every bit of a wife, right? Meaning a partner, right? And this is what men, we need to learn our roles also, right? There's nothing wrong. And I'm not talking about finances, right? I'm talking about roles, right? Because they can interchange financially. One day the woman could be carrying the finances. One day the man could be carrying the finances. We're not talking about that, but we're leading by example, right? And I love that call, and thank you. I appreciate you so much. For those who've just been calling in, call in. Listen, I love what she was just saying. Valid points, 100% valid points, right? And this is what I love about Don't Let That Go Over Your Head podcast. We want people that are calling in like this, not calling in with their bitter, miserable ways, right? We're trying to create more unity opposed to separation. And that's the major dilemma right now. Separation tends to be the hottest topic right now. No unity, right? But we got to learn how to separate the two, right? So this is the issue. When you sit down and you have most conversations, everyone is talking about separation. What about unity? What about working together? What about building? Right? For the caller that is call in, call back. The phone line is open. Call back. I'm loving it. But now we're talking about moving in silence. Shanice, I want you to call in too. Call in right now, 516-253-1150. Right? Call in right now. Call in, call in. This is the conversations we need to have. A lot of people don't really have the true conversations that need to be had, right? We got to realize that there are things that matter. They're bigger than you and I, right? Caller, what's going on, caller?
Hey, what's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm all right.
How do you feel about this topic today?
Say that again?
How do you feel about the topic today?
Oh, the topic, man. I feel like, is it best to move in silence? It all depends, man. Because if you move in silence, man, I feel like it's the best way to make your most mistakes. You know what I mean? And then eventually, over time, you know what I mean, your moves will make enough noise where all you can do is be loud with it because you know what I mean. Your actions have done enough impact around the community or whatever you've been doing or whatever the atmosphere or whatever what the category you're trying to step in. You know what I mean. You'll see your moves actually doing something and people get you. You know what I mean. You'll get people's attention where they want to hear. You know what I mean. It's nothing but your actions making the noise for you. That makes sense.
Everything you're saying is valid. It makes a lot of sense because along the process of becoming successful or doing anything great, there's going to be a lot of bumps in the road, right? So that's true what you're saying. Like, we fall, but we got to get back up and we rise, right? Sometimes people want to see you fall, so they sit back and they're waiting for you to fall so they can laugh, opposed to seeing your true strength is the fact that you fell, but you definitely got back up, right?
Right.
Right? Now, I definitely appreciate that. Anything else you want to add to this? Yeah, anybody else calling right now? Phone lines are back open. Listen, I'm loving the conversation today, guys. One thing I love about this podcast is we're going to make ourselves very vulnerable so we can work on fixing ourselves and healing ourselves. See, the problem is there are a lot of platforms that laugh at vulnerability. Here, we don't do that. Everything is about building, right? Call again right now if you want to call in, right? So this is what we're doing. We're talking about the things that matter. We're talking about life. We're talking about advancing. Understanding that it requires a certain mentality to be able to do so. And this is what we're talking about over here. Caller, what's going on, caller? Oh, that was you. Okay, I'm sorry. No, I definitely appreciate that.
Hey, what was the question that you had again?
No, what you just said was all.
In your relationship?
What do you think in a relationship? I'm gonna ask you a question now. Since you a lot of people just said good things about you on my Facebook, on my TikTok, on my Instagram. So here's my YouTube also. So here's my question. As a wife, what do you think are extreme necessities of outside of economics? What do you think a woman's role is to a husband?
What do you think a woman's role is for her husband?
Yes. Or for a man?
Well, as I said before, you got to be that sanctuary. You have to. We have this thing, right? And I guess the Bible teaches us this. A man is supposed to protect and provide. A man that doesn't work doesn't eat. That's what we're taught from little itty bitty girls until we become women. A man has to go out and get a job. He has to go out and provide. He has to bring bacon home to put on that table. He has to do all of these things. By all means, I do believe that. But at the same time, if that man is going out and getting the bacon and getting the table and working his butt off and bringing it back home, then not only should you make sure it's cooked, but you should also celebrate him for going to get it. because there are a lot of men out here, and there's a difference. There's a grown behind boy, and there's a grown behind man.
Agreed.
And we are falling trap to the grown behind boys, texting and portraying to be grown men, and then we want to go talk to our good girlfriends about this man.
Yes.
No, you
Yes.
know who you chose. So you need to accept accountability of that. Now, if you are dealing with a grown behind man, you shouldn't be going to your girlfriends and talking to your girlfriends about whatever that man is doing or whatever he's doing wrong or whatever he's not doing. You have to always make sure you celebrate that man in every single way. And sometimes that means going to him, letting him know what you feel lack of, letting him know what he is or he is not doing. When you allow other people into that square, into your marriage, here's your problem. They're going to give you commentary, but how can a non-married person tell a married person what they can and cannot do for their husband?
I got a bomb. I got a bomb to that. I'm sorry. Going crazy. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You got the guys in the studio going crazy. Let me ask you a question.
Listen,
Are you the woman? Are you the woman that have the podcast?
Me and him been married. I got married at 18. I just turned 35.
Wow.
When
Congratulations.
I first got married, I didn't know how to be a wife. I am being completely honest with you. Did not know how to be a wife. I had no idea because I didn't see it growing up. I seen my mom being a single parent, and I thought that's what it looks like. It's not what it looks like. You have to change the narrative. You have to change the page. Don't say, my mama said this, or my mama did this, or your mama did this. Well, I'm going to tell you like my husband told me about 12 years ago. Then go be with your mama. Go be with your mama. If your mama is going to keep telling you everything and you're going to keep coming back in my home where I pay the bills, I provide for you, I make sure you have everything you need, go be with your mama. So when you get ready to leave your mom or leave your dad, allow your husband to lead appropriately so he doesn't come back and try to reiterate the message. And if he has to keep reiterating it, it's not going to be so nice.
Quick question. That's your husband. That's your husband on there right now, Mr. Akeem?
That is my husband.
Let me say something to him real quick. My good brother, the Bible says a man that finds a wife finds a good thing. And my good brother, you have found a wife, and I want to bomb to you because this woman is on fire. And you know the best part is? She's not using emotion, she's using logic. And that's what makes an adult an adult. When you know how to alleviate your emotions and you have to learn logic. Some people don't know logic, which common sense, right? There are roles, and she clearly respects it. And I can see that you clearly respect her. And I love seeing black love. I'm sorry. Let me give y'all a round of applause because I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You know?
I love you so much, and I appreciate you allowing me this space to step in and speak my piece.
Listen, that's what we do up here, man. That's what we do.
Last week, and I should have did it a lot sooner. And I would encourage other women to do that. My husband is a trucker. He's on the road a lot. He asked me to go with him, and I posted a video on TikTok about it, and I got somewhat a lot of love from it. But I went with him. I went to see what he do every day, and sometimes that's okay for us women to do it because it'll give you a new appreciation of the bag. And when they got to go get the bag and understand what they're doing. Now, he's a car hauler. That is dangerous. I didn't know all of that goes into his job, but I'm glad I went because it made me respect him a lot more. And I don't have to bow down to him, but I can walk beside him and respect what he do. Because I know when he's going out to get the bag, he's getting the bag and he bring it home. And he doesn't allow distractions to come in his life.
I love it. Listen, my king and my queen.
Support your ladies. Stop worrying about a relationship and build a friendship. Because if you have a friendship, it can go through anything.
She's 100% right. Yo, guys, let me just bomb to you one more time. Listen. I love it. I appreciate you so much. Listen, those are the people we need every time on this episode that add value, right? She got me smiling, man, because, like, that's what I love to see. I love to see couples who understand each other and respect each other. The one thing I've seen that she's saying is he works hard. He's out getting the bag. She went out to go see exactly what he's doing to get the bag, and she respects him, right? So ultimately, by her going out to see it, she built a new respect for him, seeing how hard he works to bring home the bag, right? And this is what we need to learn. There are a lot of people out here that really don't understand how hard their mates work. So sometimes your mate come in and you add an extra strain on their lives that you don't know the day they had. And it's sad, right? But I'm loving when people understand that it is unity, right? We need to learn how to get rid of this toxic mentality. A lot of people are very toxic. And why do I say toxic? It's a certain level of mentality, right? Answer it. You know, and this is the mentality what a lot of people possess. They don't want to hear anything productive. And when you don't talk about anything productive, chances are you're talking about something that's toxic. Yeah, I had the bomb. The mic fell from the bomb. And I'm loving it. I'm loving it. So, guys, this is the conversations I wish more people would have, right? Sit down and talk about roles. One of my boys went out on a date the other day. He said the first date he went out on with the girl, she brought up what she expect. He said, that's crazy. I said, that's not crazy. That's maturity. Learn how to date as an adult, right? Caller, what's going on? Caller, what's going on? Hey, caller,
Hello?
how are you?
Doing pretty good.
So talk to me. What are you adding to this topic today?
So from your last caller, I agree with her 100%. It's like, I feel like, yeah, as women, we are groomed to be, to don't no woman want to, be in a man's place at all.
Mhm.
And we groomed to, want that man and for that man to provide. It's just, I feel like some women overstep. They overstep a lot, and they just need to take accountability for that. And I feel like, and added on to, your other conversation with the, you were saying about the, damn, I'm losing my train of thought. Sorry, because
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. Keep going.
like when you were saying about the moving in silence situation.
Yes.
I feel like with that situation, it just depends. Because say like if you're in a relationship and you don't have a supportive spouse, sometimes you got to be quiet, or you have family members around you. Sometimes you got to be silent. But it's basically it's with growth. Like sometimes you got to grow out of that stage in life and get away from the people, and then you got to be around the people that you can trust, that you can open up and talk to it.
This
Tell them what's going on with you. But other than that, I feel like that just comes with growth.
I agree 100%. 100%. You know, what you're saying is true. A lot of people still haven't grown, right? We still moving as our younger selves. A lot of people are still dating high school dating too, right? They haven't adjusted to adult dating, right? And adult dating is having real conversations about what are the future plans, what's the goals, what are we trying to do, right? But a ton of people are still out here high school dating, and I don't think it's healthy that a person has to keep what they're doing away from their mate. I'm a little nervous about that because your mate's supposed to be your biggest fan.
Right.
They could be a critic, but they're supposed to be a big fan.
You sound so far apart.
I said,
try to call. So far away. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to call back in and see if I can. If it's probably my work phone, or if I can get like a clear from you. But I like the conversation.
I appreciate you so much. Listen, guys. So what we talking about today is so dope because the moving in silence, right? I'm learning that. I'll give you a quick scenario. My mentor, he happens to be a Jewish guy, right? And he always talks about how he talks colorless when he talks, right? And I love it. He talks more so green. Everything about him is more green. He doesn't care about if he's getting the money from black, white, Hispanic, Indian. He doesn't really care about that, right? But what he does care about is the mentality. And I've noticed that tons of us don't talk about the mentality that it entails for you to become or get to a certain level, right? So now you sit back every day and you wonder why you're still at a level, but you're not seeing why it is. Like simply, look at, right? Let's say this. Let's just say a man and a woman, right? They're not getting far in life because everything is a competition between the two of them. And I'm noticing it more and more and more. Like today, I was talking to my boys rather in the studio. I was saying, it's funny how many people really believing fighting against each other and normalize this mentality. And here's the dilemma. Now you have a woman and a man who are fighting against each other. So now you don't have a lot, she don't have a lot, and y'all not working together to have something. So you're not working together. And this is a mentality that's been taught, right? you have women who really genuinely believe, and I'm not taking no shots at no women, right? You have women who believe that a man, her economics make her a man. Economics isn't a masculine or a feminine thing. Let me say that one more time. There are a lot of women who believe based on their earning that that makes them masculine. Masculine isn't about earning. Taking care of yourself is what makes you an adult. And being an adult, it is weird for you to wake up every day looking for another adult to take care of you unless you and that person is husband and wife. And that's what you guys decided to do as far as your marriage. But if a woman or a man is waking up every single day looking for someone to take care of him, that is very immature. And then sometimes we'll say things like, he's not a man because he don't take care of me. Sister, you want a man to pay your mortgage, your kids, and everything else in between. We live in a time right now where you need two streams of income. There is really no way at this point where a person can provide and take care of you as well as themselves and ultimately put you in position when you can get to lay home and not pay anything unless you live in the middle of America in the middle of nowhere. But that's a harsh reality. Any person that lives in the inner city or the suburbs or anything that's rural, they're gonna see that you have to provide two stable incomes. It is unhealthy for a relationship when someone is extremely codependent on the finances unless a husband and wife or a boyfriend and girlfriend, they decided that this will work. I do know some men who decided to leave their women home because of the fact that it's cheaper than paying for daycare. Right? I'm gonna tell you something. When you're talking about independence, in order for someone to see you independently, you have to independently do things that provide you to have your own independence. I don't think it's healthy for someone to be taken care of. They say the word is called kept. I want someone to keep me. Right? That to me, that's sick. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, ain't no way I come from a single mother that worked very hard. So if I even dated a woman like that, I would never have respect for him because I don't see that as a woman. I see that as my child. Callers, call in right now. We taking another call, right? 516-253-1150. Call in right now, 516-253-1150, right? See, someone just said daycare is $800 a week. They're not lying, right? It's expensive out here. In order to sustain and maintain a certain lifestyle, it takes two incomes. But the men are working against the women and the women are working against the men. Right? There's tons of people that have insecurities. Let's answer this call. We're going to get to this next caller. Caller, what's going on, caller? Caller.
Oh, hello?
How you doing?
Hi, how you doing?
How are you? I know exactly who this is. How are you?
I'm cool.
So let me see what you got.
Thank you. I agree with everything that lady was saying on the podcast, man. And another thing, like your topic with the moving silence thing, I agree with moving in silence because a lot of people, don't want to see you succeed. Even sometimes people that you sleep with, they don't want to see you happy. They don't want to see you succeed. So a lot of times you do got to move in silence.
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. So let me ask you a question. What do you think should be the role of a man and the role of a woman?
What you say?
What do you think should be the role of a man and the role of a woman?
Partnership.
Oh, talk that talk. That's a great answer. Elaborate on a partnership. What's a partnership look like to you?
Everything. It start with friendship first. Start with friendship to go from friendship, and partnership is like doing things together. Not hiding anything. You make sure know everything that's going on with you. And when you say like business partners, y'all be business partners. If you know anything about business, there's ups, there's downs. There's times where things are going good. There's times when things are going bad. But you got to be in there for the long haul. If you're in there for the long haul, then it should be like
I agree
Be
100%.
all good and dandy. No giving up, no none of that. Like that's a partnership to me.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Listen, it's weird though. Like me personally, I wouldn't want to be with somebody that definitely don't want to see me win, right? You know, that's unhealthy. That's
Right.
very see, but that's the toxic relationships that we were taught, right?
But look,
A man envying a woman or being jealous of his woman could never be a man to me. That's not a man. That's a little boy. That's weird, right? That's a little insecure little boy.
but you got women that envy their men. You got women that envy their men too.
That's a little girl. That's weird.
I ain't on this podcast to be all for the women, because you got women that hate on their men too for making more than them or doing more than them. And like I said, it got to be a partnership, right? You know what I'm saying?
I agree 100%. That's weird though.
A woman ain't gonna make all the money, and a man ain't gonna make all the money. You got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to be okay with anybody that you with or married to making more than you. Just like she said with the truck drivers, I give it up for all my truck drivers because I'm a truck driver myself and I'm a female, so I know what that word is about. And just like she said, she had to go see his work and see what he do in order for her to understand why he's out all these hours. Why, sometimes he may come home late. Why this? Why that? She had to go see it for herself.
I love that.
You know
I
what
love
I'm
that.
saying? You're not going to understand your partner or understand it unless you go and see it for yourself. You gotta experience that on your own.
I agree 100%. Now you're right 100%. I love it. I love it. You're right. I love it. I love it. You know, you got some valid points. You know, but this is what we need to work on. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. One thing a lot of people don't know is the world is full of a lot of narcissists too, right? They really exist, and that could be a man or a woman thing. There are narcissist women and there are narcissist men. It seems like anytime a man is thrown with the label narcissist, there are women who are narcissists also, very controlling, right? Do me a favor, somebody bring up the title of a narcissist. I'm just curious the exact definition of
I
it.
think I lost you. Hello?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yeah, you kind of far away a little bit, but I can hear you a little bit. What you say now?
There are a lot of men and there are a lot of women who are narcissists, right? And the problem is, right, it says a person who has an excessive interest or admiration of themselves. See, sometimes people misconstrue with a person being overly confident and a person being a narcissist. One person just wrote me right now, how do you know if a person that you're dating envies you? A person that dates you, envies you, is a person that anytime you talk about yourself, they always make it about them, right? They never want to celebrate your accomplishments. They always belittle your accomplishments, ultimately to make themselves feel bigger.
Or they try to knock you down. They try to knock you down or stop you from accomplishing it.
Are telling you stuff like, I don't think that could work because they don't see it working for them, right?
Right. Or they tell you like, oh no, you a woman, you're not supposed to do that. Oh, you can't do that. Yeah, that type of stuff.
Sick. They need to grow up. They need to grow up. But listen, I definitely appreciate your call in, man. I love you and I appreciate you so much.
All right, Q.
All right. So, guys, this is what we're talking about today. What about downplaying your struggles? A lot of people will downplay your struggles. Why? Because life is always, it seems like anytime a person is, in a sense, happy, an unhappy person will find ways to make you unhappy. And that's normal. I've seen that in multiple facets. I've seen a man come home, right? Now, I'll give you one. The craziest thing I've seen is a man went out to party with his boys. So, like me and my guys, we go out, right? And this is one of the true stories I've seen. The girl got so mad that the guy was having fun, she called his phone, right? She said, hello, what you doing? He said, no, I'm out with the guys. You can tell he was trying his best not to seem like he was having too much fun. And I'm looking at him like, yo, why are you acting like you're not having fun? He said, because if I'm having too much fun, when I get home, she gonna want to argue. I said, yo, brother, that is a sick relationship, right? And there are a lot of people who are in these sick relationships, right? It's sad. It's like, if you have to downplay your mate's accomplishments to big yourself up. There's a guy that comes to my store, right? He drives his woman's car on a regular. He's always borrowing his woman's car. Every time he borrows his woman's car, he always got to say, I paid the car note. I'm going to tell you something. In most cases, the men that always borrow things from their woman, they're not paying for it. It is a defense mechanism or a deflection when you start saying that you're paying for something. Because I'm going to tell you something. If you did not care about it and you felt like it didn't bother you, you wouldn't even feel compelled to tell me that you're paying for it. But the fact that you feel compelled to say, yeah, I moved in her place, but I pay for it, that's a way of downplaying the truth. Reality is you shouldn't feel away, right? And this is the realities. There's a question we asked the other day. And I want everybody who's calling in from this moment right now to answer this on my live and everywhere else. A or B? Do you think it's easier for a man, this is my A, do you think it's easier for a man to allow a woman to move into his place and share his place with her? Or do you B, believe that it is easier for a woman to accept a man that's moving into her place and accept it? So A, do you believe that it's easier for a man to accept a woman moving into his place? Or do you B, believe that it's easier for a woman to accept it? Meaning it's not going to be thrown in their face. So do you B, think the woman will accept a man moving into her place without throwing in his face when she's mad? Who do you think is more prone to do it? Do you think the man, which is A? Or do you think B, the woman is more acceptance of a man moving in? I'm going to go down the list. I see B, I see A, I see A, I see B, I see A. I don't think it matters, whichever house you like. I agree, but what if you both don't? Somebody said A, right? So I'm asking my guys in the studio, as they raise their hands, raise your left hand if you believe A, or raise your right hand if you believe B. A is if you believe that the man will accept a woman moving in easier, or B, if you think the woman will accept the man moving in easier. Let's see. Seeing all men? I'm seeing all men. What do you think? Everybody in the studio said they believe the man. I'm going to be honest with you. Here's the logic, and this is why we have a lot of problems with dating, right? Ladies, please don't take this personal, but I'm being honest, right? Doing a horrible job today, right? Just being honest. Ladies, when a man and a woman start engaging in a conversation of dating, right? Here's the problem. A lot of the times women, y'all downplay your true beliefs of what a man is. So what happens is as you guys start dating and start taking the relationship to the next levels, you ultimately pretend as if everything that he's doing is okay. Later on, when things start getting more serious, you start trying to change what was already there as far as red flags, right? You knew certain aspects. You knew that he was lessly or not superly employed, and you knew that he had multiple baby mothers. You knew all of these things. But here's the dilemma. In the beginning of dating and courting someone, you should automatically put what's on a table of expectations. See, this is the difference. When you're dating as a child or you're dating on adult time. There's a difference between high school dating and adult dating. You got to say things like, this is my expectations, right? Stop rushing to the bedroom, ultimately running past all the red flags of a person. And that's what a lot of people do. They rush past the learning someone stage to ultimately get intimate. Stop letting your physical attractions make you outweigh the logic of your thinking. One of the gifts that we all have is logic, right? And the problem is if you're not using logic, you're losing emotion. And if you're using emotion, you're going to ultimately keep making decisions based on impulse of your emotions. So sometimes it's not that the men are bad and it's not that the women are bad. It's the fact that you're bad because you're choosing bad people because you're moving too fast. Calm down. Calm down. What's that song, right? Calm down. Calm down. Meet each other, learn each other, court each other. Get to figure out each other. But the problem is, as soon as you meet the person, the first thing you're doing is jumping in bed. So guess the problem with the jumping into the bed so fast? You're jumping in the bed with the representative. You're not jumping in bed with someone you know. That person is not who they are. Let me say that one more time. When you rush into a relationship and you meet someone fast and you get intimate fast, chances are you're getting the representative. You're not getting the person that you think you're getting. Because I'm going to tell you something. The faster you move, the longer and the easier it is to hide who they really are. Sometimes you got to be more patient and learn the person. Allow the courting stage to take time. Keep it in your pants. I'm talking to my men and I'm talking to my ladies. Calm down. Calm down. Calm down. You got to calm down. And then here goes the problem. You know what happened? He ain't half of what he thought he was, but he got what he wanted. Right? And that's the problem. Of course, you're getting a counterfeit person. And that's what it is. It looked like a duck. It quacked like a duck. But guess what? It ain't a duck, right? It looked like a diamond. It shines like a diamond. But say it with me, guys. It is not a diamond. And that's the problem. You know, we get cubic zirconia in relationships and we believe that is a diamond because it shines so bright. And that's what happens with a lot of people. They're getting cubic zirconias. And the reason why they're getting cubic zirconias is because it shines. It looks good, right? The shell of a person does not reflect their mentality. A person can, a shell, if a person is super fit, it only says that they take care of their body. But here's the question, just because you take care of your body, are you taking care of your mind? Are you sane? See, you could be physically in shape, but not in mental shape at all. There are some people who may look good, but they're ugly under the looks. And that's a harsh reality. But yet and still, we look at the physicality. She's sexy, boy. He's cute, girl. She's fire, right? He's handsome. That handsome can be hiding behind something extremely ugly. That gorgeous could be hiding behind something so unattractive. Because I'm gonna tell you something, one of the worst things you can run into as a person that's portraying to be something they're not, ultimately giving them your prized possessions or believing in them, right? And putting your time on hold, because now every time you court somebody, you're dating somebody, just keep in mind, you're holding yourself away from meeting the person that could potentially be your future husband. Every time you find somebody that's not doing the right thing, you're holding yourself from potentially finding your future wife. See, the problem is you meet a lot of people that say every single day, like, I don't see myself having a future with this person, but guess what? They get into bed every single night with this person, knowing that nothing is going to come out of it besides failure. What does that say about you? It says insecurity with oneself. You don't even see that you're still entertaining the same person that's a loser. That's you. It's not the world. And that's what we do all the time. We blame the world. Why would I keep entertaining something that's failure? Why would I hang out with people that ain't pushing me? Why would I keep making excuses for the fact that things are not going the way I want when I'm not seeing it's me? Listen, ask yourself a question. And I think everyone needs to ask themselves this question. What did I do, right, that allowed this person to believe that I was so easy to take advantage of? Do I got a bullseye on me? Is there saying something says, kick me when I walk past on my butt? Because that's what you allow in yourself. Some of these people are verbally kicking you, mentally kicking you, and physically kicking you. And you allowing it. But guess what you're going to say? Eventually, I'm going to get over it. I don't think it should be eventually. I think it should be today. I think somebody on this live need to stop making excuses for someone treating you bad. Enough is enough. So here's my question. When is enough enough? I don't even hang out with people that don't ever always expect things from me. I don't hang out with people like that. It's kind of bad when you hang out with people just because you make more money than they expect you to pay for everything. I find that to be dangerous. That's sick. Listen, back to what I was saying. A woman who makes money doesn't make her an alpha. Let's get that straight. A man who makes money, that doesn't mean he's an alpha, right? That means they make money. Grown-ups are supposed to make money. I think that's healthy, and that's normal for being an adult. What separates me from my son is the fact that he can't take care of himself. What makes me the man that I am is the fact that I can take care of myself. So when you're still sitting here saying, hey, I'm an alpha woman. Why? Because I have a doctorate and I work at a law firm. That don't make you an alpha woman, right? See, sometimes I hate to say this, and my ladies, they hate when I say this. I'm going to just tell the truth. A lot of women, based on the fact that what they've gone through, they absorb too much masculine energy. And ultimately, in their mind, the ability to provide makes them believe that they're alphas and they're manly. I'm going to tell you something, and it's a quick story. I want you to hear this. Imagine me and you being in the bed, alpha lady, And the moment I hear a noise, I'm going to tell you to go look and check the noise. And you're going to look back at me in the bed. You know what you're going to say? No, I think you should go check the noise. You know what I'm going to say? No, Superwoman, you should go check the noise. You the alpha, right? You got to be willing to sacrifice yourself if you the alpha. Let's stop saying this nasty mentality that men don't need women and women don't need men. There are rules and regulations in life that men need women, and it's proven fact, and there's a proven fact that women need men. The moment we start talking that mentality is the moment that we realize that we're breeding more separation. There are children who are being raised by women right now who are teaching them how to hate their own brothers and the men that's on earth. There are men who are being taught how to be babied and coddled by a lot of these single mothers, and then we get mad at it. A lot of these single mothers are the ones that's teaching these boys how to look for mothers. They're not looking for wives. Who's creating this narrative? A lot of women are creating men who are looking for mothers because a lot of single mothers overly compensate on their children, which are boys. They give a lot of pressure to their daughters, but they kiss their sons behind. Listen to my single sisters. Your son is not the Princess Zamunda. Your son is not the King of England. At the end of the day, you got to teach that young man how to be a man. If his dad is not there, put more examples around him so he can learn how to be a man. Put more examples around him. Put that boy in programs. Put him in soccer. Put him around some kind of mentoring that he can see what a man looks like. Because I'm going to tell you something, ladies. You can say this 101 times all you want. A woman cannot teach a man how to be a man. And anyone thinks otherwise is foolish. A man cannot teach a girl how to be a woman. But the one thing a man can teach about his daughter is how a woman is supposed to be treated. And that's reality. We talk so much foolish crap because, again, these people that have these platforms, they talk all this foolishness, ultimately creating more separation, ultimately creating more anger, ultimately creating more resentment. That's what they do. They literally get on these platforms just to create more hate. And that's the truth. But when we talk about these things, you see the main dilemma. I got a guy that got mad at me the other day. He said to me, his wife's body is not that 20-year-old body that she is, because she's in her 40s going into her late 50s. She's about to go into her 50s. He said, yo, her body ain't fire no more. So I looked at him and I said, brother, your wife's body ain't fire no more because, one, she's older. Two, she had your big old kids. You're 6'3", brother. She pushed out Shaq's son. What do you expect? Your big old son, that's why. Tore her body up. And you're going to scrutinize her for that. What a man you are, my brother. What a man you are. Ladies, yes, he don't have that six-pack no more. That man worked hard. He do not have time to sit in the gym like he used to when he was younger. Go play basketball at the park for 4 hours straight. Right? I hate to say this. A healthy man might come with a little bit of flab, right? Listen, I'm just calling it what it is. We ain't 21 no more. Right? There's called estrogen and there's called testosterone. As you get older, I think things change. Right? I just broke up with somebody 2 days ago and I seen her with her ex. She was always with her ex. Just so you know that. And I'm just keeping it 100. When that person that just wrote that, Jose, I just broke up 2 days ago and I seen her with her ex. She was always with her ex. You just didn't know it. Right? And don't feel bad. Because if somebody can take what you believe was yours, it wasn't for you. Right? Because what God has for you is always be for you. Let's just call it what it is. If it's meant to be yours, it will always be yours. It ain't yours. That was his. Send him back to what he get. And I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Jose, stay with me. Right? In most cases, when a man, and ladies, I'm hoping you hear this good. Please listen to me. In most cases, when a man is able to take you from a man, in the back of his mind, he's always thinking that somebody can take you from him. And I'm going to tell you why. Because a man is always he wants to feel stable that woman It's only for him. When a man sees that a woman is for the village, he will ultimately never respect her because he sees her as a villager. He does not see her as a queen. And just keep that in mind. When a man, I'm talking about a man, I'm not talking about the boys, because boys play in the sandbox everywhere they go. Men are selective what sandboxes they go to. Boys are playing anybody's sandbox, meaning boys sleep with any type of women. Men are very selective. Men play chess. Boys play checkers. The men that are getting better in life are the men that don't chase women. The men that chase women all day are the men who still haven't reached the maturation process. These are the guys who still believe that the more women I can sleep with ultimately adds value to me. That's still a little boy. Men don't think like that. Men think the stable of my family is and me pursuing myself is ultimately the mission. When a man don't understand that, or quote unquote, that's the man that still hasn't reached manhood. It's not about chasing the woman. It's about building your life. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. The more you build your life, the more women are going to chase you. It's not my opinion. It's just the truth. Women are more attracted to men that's about their life. The more, I hate to say this in a lot of cases, the more you chase the woman, the more she don't value you. Because the goal is you shouldn't be chasing not your wife, you should be chasing your best self. When you're chasing your best self and you're making yourself happier, men, you tend to make your woman more happy. Because the reality of all things is society tells you to chase the woman. But let me ask you a question. Who is telling you that? The woman that wants to be chased. The man should not be chasing a woman. A man's supposed to be chasing his better self. I can sleep with tons of women, but my mission is not a woman. My mission is becoming the better Q. And I'm telling you, people say to me, why are you so happy? Because I'm pursuing my greater self. When you're pursuing your greater self, you don't have time to absorb negative energy. Because every time you look in the mirror, you're happy with what you see. A lot of men take advantage of women because they're not happy with what they see. So in order for them to feel accomplished, they sleep with a bunch of women. I remember when I was a kid, a lot of men would get mad at you and argue, and this is what they'll say. Let's say you diss him, you ain't got no job. You know what he'll say? But I get more girls than you. And a lot of men have graduated to grown men still saying, hey, I'm a bum, but guess what? I still get more girls than you. That's the reality of a life because they allow themselves to believe that is success. The more women they can manipulate, the more women they can take advantage of, they made themselves believe, they made reservations in their mind that this is success. And there are a bunch of little girls who are here too who believe that the more men I can manipulate, take advantage of, and take their money, I am the diva. That is a sick mentality, man. That is a sick mentality. This is what we do. We allow ourselves to believe this natural garbage. It is garbage. Stop allowing yourself to believe what society say because all it is doing is breeding separation. And the beneficiaries of separation is one, our sons going to jail, right? The beneficiary of it also, the separation is our daughters being promiscuous. That's what comes of it. It's not my opinion, it's facts. Search the statistics. The more you believe in separation and the more you believe you don't need a man, it's okay that you don't need a man. But ladies, your child need a father. So let's say that again. A lot of the times we have these conversations and a lot of people get mad, right? People pretend that things are not what they are, right? And that's a fact. They pretend that these things don't exist. Let's not sit here and act like ladies. You deal with a lot of women. Notice, more of the promiscuous women come from single mothers, right? Now let's go to my men. Men, you deal with a lot of men. Notice, a lot of the men that are incarcerated come from single mothers. Did I create the false narrative or did I just tell the truth? So let's believe we don't need our fathers. I'll give you a story. There was a woman I was having a conversation with, right? She said to her mother later in life, Mom, you can't be mad at me for the men I'm choosing when that's all you showed me. She said to the mother, every man you brought home was a particular way. They were bums. They weren't about anything. And this is the example she showed them. So now she dates the same kind of guys. And here's the problem with us as parents, right? We don't like to see a lot of ourself in our children. Anytime we see ourselves in our children, we get very upset. I don't think no real weed head wants to see their sons or daughters smoking a bunch of weed. I don't see no high school graduate, a dropout, want to see their kids drop out of high school, right? I don't see no parent who's struggling want to see their children struggle, right? I'm gonna be honest with you. In a lot of cases, we don't see that we're procreating a certain mentality, right? Let's all right. So when you look back and you see a lot of the cases, we don't see that we're motivated by everything that plays on our insecurities. A lot of people live off their insecurities, right? I'm gonna tell you something. Back to my mentor. My mentor said to me, people will not be successful until they learn how to normalize having successful conversations. Let me say this one more time, right? My mentor said to me years ago, people that are unsuccessful tend to be inferior to successful people's conversations. In most cases, people will never be successful until they learn how to normalize having successful conversations. Success sparks a thought. The thought creates new actions. The new actions create new results. If a person is always talking about losing, they're going to accept losing as a fate. You got to be able to have very successful conversations in order to make you feel comfortable with becoming successful. Yes, I believe that we should move in silence, but I definitely believe that we should be able to have more financial and more successful conversations. I genuinely believe that. There's nothing wrong with moving in silence, but I definitely believe that the people who are inspiring themselves to, notice I said the word inspiring yourself, because you have to inspire yourself to make any kind of moves. The people who want to be inspired, they have to be willing to go to rooms that keep inspiring themselves. There are tons, if you look up on this, there's an app, right? The app is called, what is the thing? They send it all the time, where you can literally go look at the things that's going on tonight. Say it again? Eventbrite. There are tons of events going on every night about investing, free. Financial literacy, free. There's a girl that said to me one day, I'm tired of my mother because she never taught me how to save. I said, your mother ain't teach you how to have sex, but you learned. Let me say that again. There's a girl who dissed her mother, right? No, I want this. There's a woman who came into my shop one day, we was having a conversation, and all she did was diss her mother. Everything was my mother did this, my mother did this, my mother did this. I said, I'm going to say something to you and you're going to get defensive. She said, what? I said, your mother didn't teach you how to have sex, but sure enough, you learned how to do it. And she looked at me with anger. And I said, did your mother ever sit you down and say, this is how you do it? She said, no. I said, how do you get mad at your mother for not teaching you something she didn't know? I'm going to say this again, guys. I think it is disgusting that people hold their parents to things they didn't know. And then they get angry for the fact that their parents didn't know these things. Let's forgive them. Let's stop moving in silence a little bit and start getting in better rooms where the conversations are normal. So it can go both ways. Move in silence amongst people that are haters. Move in silence amongst people that don't want to see you win. Move in silence amongst people who are not pursuing their greater selves. But go and speak with conviction in them rooms of people that are winning. Go in them rooms of people that are doing greater things and that's building. Go in them rooms that's going to inspire you to be your better self. So again, there's a time and place for everything. You can definitely move in silence in certain settings. But if you're in them settings where people are prominently moving into better spaces, there's no reason to move in silence because your success is not going to make them angry. Your success is going to inspire them. Your success is going to motivate them. Your success is going to push them. Your success is going to make them believe that they can achieve. Because again, before you can achieve anything, you have to believe that you can achieve it. And some people will never achieve it because they don't believe it. So go to the rooms that push you. Go to the rooms that is encouraging you to be your greatest self. Stop looking for the fact of the matter that things are not going the way they are or you want them to go. And look at the things that's going the way you want. See, there's a problem with a lot of people. We drive cars. We drive cars. And in the front of your car, when you're sitting in the driver's seat, you have 3 types of mirrors. You have something called your side view mirror. You have the windshield that's in front of you. And then on the top of here, you have your rear view mirror again, right? These are 3 mirrors. If you look in your side rear view mirror or your back mirror right here, overly, and try to drive going forward, you're going to crash. Some of us need to stop looking in the past and start looking to what's in front of us. Notice, in order for you to become your better self, is the rooms you're in. Because there are a ton of people who don't get intimidated by your success. They get inspired. Because again, when you tell what you got going on, 2 types of people come out of it. A, ones who are jealous, and B, ones who get inspired. Choose to go around people that inspire you. Stop going around people who don't inspire you. And also, be willing to celebrate your success. Because you know what you've gone through, you know what you made it out of. Until next time, guys, don't let that go over your head.